Here we go. Good morning. It is Sam here. It is Autograders. Time to do some work on the Autograders. I'm going solo at the moment. Today the camera is my pair. Yeah, I've actually been doing some work on this already. Just to summarize what I've been doing, let's go to a screen share. That looks like the right place to go. We get our infinite regress. Get that over there. Yes. So basically, over the last an hour here, an hour there, I've been working with trying to get the Oracle of Bacon assignment, which is an assignment from the MOOC. That's the edX169 MOOC, which is relating to basically using a remote API to investigate a database of movie actor connections. And basically, we've got a whole new grader setup, which is great in many ways, but I'm having trouble getting it configured to grade this new assignment. I've just summarized actually in this issue here kind of the main things that I've learned. I think also that I want note to self, stop sending lots of emails, just get everything into GitHub issues. It's definitely the way to go. But so what I have done is I've created this Oracle of Bacon CI repo, which is a private repo, but we've got the in here we've got the spec file that grades the homework, and we've got some related XML files that it's using. So one of the key things was getting that set up and having the various components in the right place. I've got this gem file. I'm not sure that the grader is using that. Something you need to look into in more detail. But basically, what I've managed to do, well, some key things I've updated is I've updated in the spec file itself. I've updated, it was an RSpec2 thing. I've been updating it to RSpec3, which means pulling in some legacy components there. Also now there are no external components that have been removed from RSpec3. It used to be there in 2, so that the homework does now grade. What I've also been doing, one of the things that made it really confusing is that I was making updates to this CI repo, and so what happens with the assignment, so if we go actually here, because I've always set this up for more testing. So this is the edX Studio, and it's got the Oracle of Bacon homework element. This is what it looks like. Actually, I'll just reload this. This is what it looks like here in the MOOC. This is live. I've kind of put a little thing in here saying, because I couldn't get the autograde working on Friday, and the assignment was released on Friday. But so I put a note that we'll have the autograder available from Monday. So what I've got here, so that's that element there. Basically, in order to put a little autograder in there, and probably not the best thing that I'm doing. Should I just create an extra element that students can't see? Yeah, that's probably better. So what I'll do here is I'll create a new unit so I can hide that from the students and stick the element in there. So this is testing OOB grader. Hide that from the students. We'll put like a little problem element. Did that not save? Testing OOB. There we go, advanced. So this is the advantage even of just recording this, is it makes me behave better. Okay, the design to cut corners. It's well, it's frustrating when you've got against the deadline. Anyway, but so what we've got, and we can see that here in where is it? Is it in there? No, not those XML files. I thought we had it. It's an XML file. I don't know which one it is. Is it this one? It is this one. Yeah, so this is the XML. This is the edX XML that works with here with the edX Studio. Basically, this allows what we're doing here is we're going to be an element in edX, and this is important. This is the queue name. Basically, edX has these queues that it pushes assignments to, and our grader pulls student assignments off those queues. So I'm working here on the staging. This is the developmental staging queue. Certainly the name of it is development, but it's sort of being used in a staging sense here. But so what you can see here, interesting here, I mean, this is a fantastic feature of the new grader, is that basically rather than having to configure the grader on the server side, in principle, anybody through this interface can say, oh, look, here's my here's the grading rubric in terms of a spec or what have you, that my students assignments should be graded against, and you can just point that to that directly, and you can also put in like the due dates in here. So this removes a lot of configuration from the server that in the past, editors, instructors would not have had access to. So that's a huge step forward. Yeah, let's get that in there. I think it's not as what's the word? So I'm going to publish that. The student shouldn't be able to see it, but as a staff member, I should be able to see it. So that's going to become a new element in there, and it hasn't. Oh, right, because I'm looking at it with a student view at the moment. Let's go back into staff view. So many different elements to the whole. There we go. So now, boom, 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 we can say let's choose this. Let's just have a look at generating the error. I'm still not entirely sure whether we can just submit the Ruby file or it needs to be zipped up. It doesn't seem to make any difference actually so far what I've seen. So I'm going to click the check button there. That's gonna spin, and I've got somewhere else over here. I've got yeah. So this is a link here to or what I've got is I've got a terminal window here. Let's get rid of some of these other ones. That one I'm not going to need for a while, or that one. Get rid of that one. Get rid of that one. There we go. In fact, there we can see here. Yes. So so this is I've got here. We've got a tmux session here, which basically allows us to leave a process running on the server. Morning, Puneet. How are you doing? You all right? How's it going? Can you hear me all right, Puneet?
Yeah, I can hear you, Sam.
Hey there. Welcome. Good to see you this morning. I'm just running through the situation with the Oracle of Bacon grader. I'm actually making some progress. Feel free to ask questions. You've kind of missed my overview. You can always watch the video again in the past. I've got to get this fixed. But yeah, how are things with you? You all well?
Yeah, I'm good. Actually, I faced issue with Autograders, so I just wanted to check what's
sure.
resolved or not.
Yeah, well, let me show you what's going on here. Yeah, so I've got it. This is the grader here. I've just got this like little testing element that I've set up, and I was just showing here how I was clearing up some of the different terminal windows that I've got lying around. But I've got here, this is an SSH session to the grader box, which is an Amazon EC2 instance, and so I can sort of see the grading things come in live. This is the staging grader rather than the production grader, which I'm currently testing on. But so the main issue that we finally got to, I've got actually, by the way, full details of the issues I've just added them to this issue on the RAG repo so that we've got a good record of them. The bottom line of many different things is the grader requires various XML files. Sorry, the Oracle of Bacon assignment requires various XML files in order to operate properly. And the problem at the moment is that if we look here, actually now we can see it both in the response from the grader and also in the grader itself, is that these files are not available, which is not ideal. And there may be a general solution to this, like what I was just showing was that the way that the grader works here is that this is the what's it called? This is the, like, on the edX side, this is the XML that specifies the grader, and it says, right, grade this assignment using this this repo here. So you can see we go to that repo, which I've got here, and so it's grabbing this spec file. Yeah, and actually, if we look at it, what's happening? Boom, 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 boom. This is also connected to the grader. If we go in, so I'm inside. This is basically another SSH window. I'm not in the tmux. This is a tmux session attached to here, and so this one we can look inside. What happens is that the grader pulls out there. It pulls out all of that code. Can you see that? It pulls out all of that code
Right.
from the CI, which is this thing we've got over here, which is great. But the problem is that while it knows where this is, when the Oracle of Bacon spec here is trying to load these other XML files, it doesn't know where they are. So I think I've got two choices here. and I don't know that either are necessarily the right thing, is what I could be doing is I could be editing the Oracle of Bacon spec so that it loads these things directly from that directory, but then that would prevent it, people running it locally and independently. Or what I could just do quickly as kind of a hack, since I'm got it set up here to try and load them from the Autograder directory. What I could be doing here is I could make an Autograder directory here, and then what I could do is I could copy from the submissions here all of the XML files into the Autograder location there. Does that make any sense?
Yeah, it makes sense. It's sort of temporary fix, right?
Yeah, exactly. Like, I mean, what we want is for people to just be able to, well, when I don't say people, I mean instructors, people who are designing assignments, just to be able to put everything they need in some repo like this one, and be able to load supporting files or this, that, and the other without having to do, the whole point of the new grader setup is that one shouldn't have to be making changes on the grader here. But so yeah, it's a sort of a temporary fix, and we'll look for a better one. But so if we, oh no, I've just closed the unit that I need. So let's go back to view the live version of this. So let's try that again now. So I'm still not sure if this needs to be, well, it seems it doesn't need to be zipped. I can just upload directly the file. So now we can come back. So that's running, thinking about it. We can go back and look at the live grader. So what have we got here now? Oh, there we go.
Yep.
Yeah, that looks like that's worked. Yeah, it's working. Woohoo!
Yep, that's great.
Can you put up your hand? Go on.
Yeah.
Question. Yes.
Yeah, so I think we might have to update the instructions as well, because it says the file has to be zipped. I'm not sure about it actually.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's interesting. We can just try now with the zip file, like so. Excuse me. But I was just going to say, if you could put your hand up in the air, you can put your hand up in the air, and I'll put my hand up. We're going to do a high five. So put your hand up in the air. Yeah? Is your hand up in the air, Puneet?
I did.
You did right now, and hey, high five! We got it working. Yay!
Yeah.
And it looks like actually it grades it whether it's in a zip file or not, from what I can see there.
That is good then. That is good.
Yeah.
We don't have to update the instructions, I think.
No, so I think the instructions work as they stand, and yes, that's good. Now the thing, what I should do now, of course, is I need to. That's just the staging grader. And we don't really want to be grading off the staging grader. What I need to do, what I should do now, and this was, I've got here some other tabs with the, there is, I want to update the production grader. So I'm going to log in here to the production grader. And so what I need to do here, I think, if we go into RAG, is first I need to delete. This is another thing that's not ideal. Like when you update your the assignment spec, at the moment I seem to have to, it kind of the grader caches what it downloads from GitHub onto the grader, and so if you want to make a change to the assignment specification, you have to delete that, which is not ideal. It's another kind of temporary fix. But so now potentially what we can do is we can point this back to the production grader, like so.
So just one question, Sam.
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, so during the setup, the Git repository is pulled only once for the autograder, or for each?
Yeah, it seems to me that it's pulled once at the moment. There may be some other mechanism for resetting it that I don't know, but as it currently stands, that's what seems to happen. I mean, the grader has been redesigned since I was working on it directly about a year ago. But I am going to have a lot more time now, I think, to focus on the Autograder and try and get to the bottom of these things. So either there's some, setting that allows you to reset that I don't yet know about, and we can use, or that's something we'll want to add so that, like we'll contact GitHub, and if we, we'll check, when the file was updated, and if it was updated, then we need to pull down the new one, or pull down the new one at some frequency, or we'll need to. I mean, it's kind of, there's an issue there, and we'll have to address that. separately. But so what I need to do now is so we've set this onto the production. There's always this dance. We have to check. We published it. We have published it. Then we've got to reload this page here. And now, so this should now, with the production grader, I would predict that this should now fail. Let's get in there and has this one given me back? Yes, broken pipe again. So I often have to have these like paired sessions because so this one I should just be able to do tmux. I mean, actually, I don't really need to. It's good to have it here. Good touch. Minus, no, there's only a single session here. Yeah, so that's just failed there in the same way because we're missing those XML files. So I should now be able to fix that by, so if we do this, well, no, first of all, I'm gonna have to make an Autograder directory. And then I'm gonna need to, come back here. We want to copy all of the XML files into the Autograder directory like so. And then if we resubmit this assignment, then if we're very lucky, so now, of course, this is the thing about having the staging grader and the production grader is, I'm doing it on the staging grader so that I can, restart the grader and do things. Oh yes, look, it's worked. And of course, the staging grader, I'm trying to keep that, as close to the production grader as possible. But so once I've done all the mucking around, so I don't have to restart the production grader 8 times. Once I've checked that it all works on the staging grader, get it on the production grader. Okay, so that seems to be working, which is very pleasing. So what we should do now is take this and we can now update this. We need to go here back into the Oracle of Bacon Revised, and we need to come into here. And so that's just a little text element. We need to come back in here. Oh, wrong thing. I need to set that to the advanced XML editor. That's all correct. I think I've already check those dates. We'll probably end up giving some sort of extension to people. Well, let's see. I mean, I'm basically going to do the email today or after this. So this is now Oracle of Bacon Revised homework, and we need to get in here and say, never show the answer because there isn't one. Never. That's okay. So we put that up there. I was calling it homework revised. I mean, it's a bit silly to call it. Let's see. That's just for the staff rather than the students. Okay, so we move up to here, and we can remove that old element. Yes, delete that component. We can now publish this. Come back over here and reload. So now let's go back and have the student view on this element. Here we go. So just check that the students can see it, and let's just do a student submission like so. So actually, if you go to this location and you could do your own submission now, Puneet, and hopefully that would work.
Yep, looks fine.
Yeah. Okay, cool. All right, nice one. Woo.
Great.
Well, I was all ready for that to take all day, but actually, that's very pleasing. It's funny sometimes with bugs. I was just, if I go back to here, I'd gone all through lots of little issues and little things, and I had anticipated that this temporary fix would work, but I was all ready to say, okay, maybe it's going to be something else and it's going to take the rest of the day. But that's right. Sometimes it happens and it works out as you expect. So I'm very pleased with that. Yes. Any thoughts from your side, Puneet?
Nothing else. I'm going to experiment and see if it works for me or not.
Yeah. Okay.
Thanks.
Sure.
Thanks a lot, Sam.
You're welcome. And I'm going to be doing a lot more sessions on this. Anytime you want to drop in, feel free. Cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right then. I'll leave actually. Okay.
All right. Great. I'll catch up with you later. All right. Bye for now, Puneet.
Thanks.
Take care.
Bye.
Okay, so following on from this, I think okay. So I'm just thinking. So I think we've got a number of issues that come out of that are like separate issues. Okay, so I mean, let's turn those into individual issues on the repo. So the individual, let's go to new issue. I've got two things. You've got those you need to review. That's the general issue about the setup. Maybe let's generally about that. So I've already created a documentation issue. And so I think one we've got. So a new issue we've got like new assignments that require new gems appear to need grader gem file to be updated. Sometimes assignment specs will require new gems. At the moment, it appears we need to add those gems to the grader gem file, which prevents the grader from correctly grading any assignment that introduces new gems. Ideally, the grader would automatically pull in the necessary gems. There we go. Yes. Okay, and I think what we could also kind of want to have. I really want to use waffle with all of this. I want to use waffle. If I go to waffle.io, and this is kind of a SaaS book thing. Can I do this if I do? This is going to be the waffle for rag. Here we go. Yep. Yeah, so I'm working on that in progress. Let's go. Project creators. Okay. It's an interesting thing. Okay, I want a badge. Okay, so I might just drop in. I might just edit rather than doing a pull request, I might just edit directly and throw that in like that. This would go like there. Waffle stores. I mean, to be honest, why do we want it to be in? Oh, and then they're ready to be worked on. Okay, yeah, poster is ready to be worked on. I think that's quite a nice feature actually. Put that in there. Get there like that. Issue. I think it's got issues. Is what it is. There we go. So I put that there. Issues ready to be worked on. So we've got that is definitely ready to be worked on. That's the issue. Put that in ready. This is, I'm working on that in progress. That is definitely, well, I do have a pull request in for that, and I'm working on this. And I would say this is definitely a three-pointer. We've got that pull request there. See, and so what I want here is I want issues only. Yeah, okay. Right. Okay, and that's done. And so what I hope to see now, let's see, and we've got in the README is ready. There's one thing. Yeah, cool. Ooh. Like it. Very nice. Okay. So going back to got sidetracked there from, yeah, and so that's the second. So we've got 3 issues there. There's 2 more. So we've got, and I can actually add the issues directly from here now. So we've got one is that grader caches assignment spec. The grader currently caches the assignment spec the first time it operates. Great for network efficiency, but it makes it difficult to it means there is no external mechanism for indicating to the grader that a homework specification has changed. This issue should be clearly flagged in documentation and possibly addressed with some way to indicate a spec is dirty, or to have the grader make a lightweight check of the status of the file on GitHub. Okay, and I think let's add that. No, I think that's definitely, there's at least a 2. I mean, it's, well, I think that with the discussion definitely on that. And definitely ready to be worked on. Okay, and then the other issue is supporting files. Graders mechanism for grader handling supporting files. The grader currently downloads every file in the in an assignments Autograder or spec. I don't know if or spec folder. However, if a spec needs to load files relative to itself, it has a problem in as much as the grader will try to load files relative to its root. And so currently for it's not clear how to allow third parties to develop specs that require associated files. Yeah, so I'm going to add that. Okay, so we've got So we've got one with, yeah, so we've got 4 new, no, I've got 3. We've got 3 new issues there. That's the 3 things: how we handle supporting files, the caching of the assignment spec, and the gems. And so that's the 3. Okay, isn't it? Yeah, so gems, that's really all the gems things. That's about the deleting stuff, and that's about supporting files. There's 3 issues there. Okay, copying the, so what did I do? We'll go back and look at the, yeah, basically copying the OOB XML files from the downloaded location to a Autograder folder on the grader server, provided a temporary fix to allow the grader to operate with on the OOB spec. And so we've got these 3 issues, haven't we? Have created, grader is now working in production with OOB spec, but have created issues related to the 3 sticking points encountered. 60. Can I just do this and do, I presume it's like 59? 59? 58, I guess. Oh, is that what they are? 58, 59, 60. Yes. There we go. 58 and 59 and 60. Okay, yeah, so we've closed. Yep, okay, boom, boom. I've waffled the rag issues. Pull in, I'm not sure. Okay. All right. So basically, the next thing up is to do the emailing to let people know that the grader has gone live. I guess I'm tempted to take a break before I do that. Do I even need to show how to do that? No, I think that's we'll leave that for the moment. Yeah, that was a nice little session there. All right.